Council White in the kitchen. He's coming.
Yeah, I will have to rush out.
All right, okay, councillors, we'll now continue on with the general management report, 5.8.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. 5.8 is Oaklands RV Park project, offer of land purchase, Millthorpe Street, Oaklands. The report is seeking the council's consent to purchase Lot 3, Section 29, BP 758804 out at Millthorpe Street in Oaklands from the Oaklands and District Lions Club. And the report seeks to give further direction to allow the Oaklands RV Park project to proceed with more clarity. The recommendation is at the end of the report is to note the report to proceed with the purchase of Lot 3 and those other details from the Oaklands and District Lions Club for $3,000 plus all disbursements, and that council prepare a development application to demolish, remove the RSL building from this site and consolidate all allotments for the Oaklands RV Park, and that this application be publicly exhibited and a report presented to council after the exhibition period for determination of the application.
Okay, we have a move by Councillor Meagle, seconded by Councillor Whitechurch. Any questions or comments? Councillor Meagle?
Yeah, just a quick one, Mr. Mayor. This RV park was one of the major projects for the Oaklands community. When you look at where the block of land is, it makes common sense to purchase this. For the cost involved and the overall size of the project, it will certainly give some clarity to the Oaklands community going forward. So support the motion.
Just want to make a quick comment on the financial implications. There was discussion with previous management, and it was negotiated with the Lions Club, I understand, to get that purchase price, was that the current budget was really only limited to the work that needs to happen there without that building removal. So there will be a recommendation once that development application process follows through, if it does get approved for the removal, we will be seeking an additional fund out of that unallocated monies from that major project, and the funds are there for it. We just didn't want to take away from what the project's about and have to pay for that. So there's funding available from that highlight that.
Councillor Whitechurch.
Mr Mayor, if I could, and I guess I have to rely on Councillor Meagle and the prior councillors, or Mr Butler, you may be able to help me. I attended a community meeting not so long ago at Oaklands, and they talked about the purchase of the land and how it hadn't taken place for whatever reason. At that meeting they did discuss that if the council was to buy the land, then they would call a public meeting to decide what would happen with the building, because apparently there was a transportable move there, and I'm just, if that's what the decision was, I'm just not sure that if we put a development application and remove it, and the town thinks that it's going to a public meeting, you might be able to clarify how that is.
The motion reads to demolish or remove.
Yeah.
So if the community have input to say we want it removed and we use it, that would be less cost to council.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. And just on that comment, and that's probably the reason, what is the reason for the delay in it, is the area sits within a heritage conservation area in a development control plan. So the site, the block and the building is not heritage listed, but the whole area is what we call a heritage conservation area. So it just means the council has to give attention to heritage characteristics of buildings and other things in those areas. But that did come in late, which has what I understand hindered that sale last year when the offer was made, was there was an objection received based on the heritage aspects of that. So the only really way I get the whole public meeting thing, and that doesn't really carry any weight, the only really way to deal with it properly is to put a development application forward with the full intent of what to do there. That gets exhibited, and that way that's the only real lawful process to determine the future of that. So.
Okay, Councillor Kennedy.
I reckon that's a great idea. I actually went out there for Anzac Day and made the brief for the Shire, and had a couple of locals show me around what their idea was going to happen to that park, and that old building there, like, I don't think you'd be able to remove it because it's nearly past its living days, I think. But the site where it's right next to pool amenities and the pool and everything, I reckon it's a great idea what's going to happen there. So it's great.
If nothing further, councillors, I'll put it all in favour. Against carried.
Thanks, Van.
Okay, now I'll ask the Director of Corporate Community Services report.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Item 6.1 is linked to a sponsorship proposal and a recommendation we provide some funding, $4,000 in funding to the Yarrawonga Whale Water Sports Festival, which is run by Yarrawonga Whale Tourism, and as you'll see in the report, based on previous research, the event is over $1 million in economic value to the community. Request was for $5,000. We're recommending $4,000 out of our sponsorship budget. Council to endorse that.
Okay, we'll have a mover, Councillor Booth, Councillor Longley, seconded Councillor Thomas. Any questions or comments? If not, I'll put it. Councillor Law.
Just a question, $4,000 in cash, and are we putting in kind help there as well? Will we be doing council things there as well that will be a cost to council?
So we need to fund any in kind, so any staff time, whether it be collection of waste or traffic control, we need to fund that anyway. So we would be charged that would come from that $4,000. Most of this event is held in Yarrawonga, so I don't believe that we'll be doing too much that we've been requested to do too much in terms of that in kind type of work.
Nothing further? If not, I'll put it. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
The draft ageing well strategy. So we have already heard at the extraordinary meeting an excellent presentation from Deanne Drage, and then earlier today Councillor Law has also done an excellent job of summarising this really important strategy, draft strategy that's being prepared. And so really all I wanted to do was to acknowledge Councillor Law for being a real champion for us of this project. And I'd like to read out the names of the ambassadors that have volunteered to help us really engage with the community and prepare, ensure that we have prepared a good plan that reflects the needs of the community. So Liz Seeliger, Jan Doyle, Stan Bromley, Ida Mensforth, Wendy Ayers, Judith Barber, Jenny Enevar, Mike Gardner, Jeanette Smith, Yvonne Perrin, and Jenny Hearn. The model of engagement for this project, I think, has been a great success, and these ambassadors, following hopefully the adoption of the draft plan today, will help us, engage again with the community to ensure that people are, really reviewing the draft plan before it comes back for adoption in June. So also want to acknowledge the efforts of Ken Reid and Amber Harvey, who have put a lot of work into this excellent plan, and I know that we all agree it's an absolute priority for the council moving forward, given that we are certainly an aged community, 10% older than the median average.
Okay, we've got a mover, Councillor Wales, seconded Councillor Meagle. Any questions or comments, councillors? Councillor Wales.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to endorse this ageing well strategy, and these ambassadors, from my observation, they certainly do a very good job for the community.
Thank you, Councillor Wales. I'll put it. All in favour? Against? Carried.
6.3 is the Community Grants Program Round 2. So Council has a $55,000 budget annually, and we run, we call for applications twice a year for projects that meet criteria. We, we really encourage the use of this program. Is historically, obviously there are a number of approaches through the council for funding, and we really try to filter all of those funding requests throughout the year to this program, so that we've got a basis for looking at the big picture and ensuring that we're being equitable, and that we're distributing community funds based on the objectives of the program, which align to strategies that council adopts. So just promoting that that's open at the moment, closing shortly, and yet another funding opportunity for the community. There certainly has been a lot lately.
Thank you very much. We've got a move of Councillor Meagle, second Councillor Kennedy. Any questions or comments? I'll put it. All in favour? Against? Carried.
and just looking for a recommendation for a delegate to the New South Wales Public Libraries Association. We are a member of the association, a very important body, particularly in the advocacy space, and has run some really successful campaigns to try and improve the level of funding from the New South Wales government. So I have suggested that the delegate should be one of Councillor Thomas and Laura, both our delegates to the Riverine Regional Library Advisory Committee, and so I do feel that one of those councillors would be well placed to be a member of the association.
Excellent. Councillors, any comments, Councillor Law?
I can do it if required.
First of all, I'm sorry, I'll move that recommendation first, and then
Well, we'll put Councillor Law in.
we'll put it in.
We'll do it as one. Yeah.
Okay, we've got a mover, which is, who is Councillor Watcher, second of Councillor Meagle. And Councillor Law, that sounds, you're pretty happy with that position?
Yeah, and Councillor Thomas will go if I can't go.
Work, yeah, excellent, that sounds great.
As the
Alternative.
alternative.
Yeah, okay. Are you happy
Yeah, sure.
with that motion there?
So the Councillor Law as the delegate and Thomas as the alternate.
Okay. All right, nothing further, I'll put it all in favour. Aye. Against, carried.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we'll move on to the Director of Infrastructure and Environments report.
What about finance?
I'm sorry, point of order. Let's move on to the number 7, Director of Finance and Organisation report.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr Mayor. First report, the statement of balances as at the 30th of April 2018. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Meagle, seconded by Councillor Longley. Any questions or comments? Put it all in favour. Aye. Against, carried.
7.2 is schedule of investments as at 30th of April 2018.
Moved by Councillor Meagle, seconded by Councillor Thomas. Any questions? If not, I'll put it all in favour. Against, carried.
7.3 is the March quarterly budget review statement, and there is noted in the report that there was an improvement over the original deficit that we had from 3135 to 3253.
Moved by Councillor Kennedy, seconded by Councillor Whitechurch. Any questions or comments? If not, I'll put it. All in favour? Against, carried.
7.4, councillors, it's to recognise some residential sales in Oaklands Township.
Okay, moved by Councillor Longley, seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Any questions, councillors? If not, I'll put it. All in favour? Against, carried.
Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to the Director of Infrastructure and Environments report.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Item 8.1, standard building approvals report for Council's information.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Meagle, seconded by Councillor Law. All in favour? Aye. Against, carried.
Report 8.2 is our development applications approved under delegation since the last ordinary meeting, again for council information.
Moved by Councillor Meagle, seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Any questions or comments? If not, I'll put it. All in favour? Aye. Against, carried.
8.3 is our appointment of representatives for the Joint Regional Planning Panel. This is a representative for council on that panel. We've got a recommendation there to nominate Darius Osaukas, somewhere here, as our representative, given his background in town planning, etc., and history in the region. We felt he was a good nomination to put forward to council. So I've got some recommendations there.
Nominate the second.
Council needs to nominate a second member to be the community representative of council, or councillor. Could be a councillor or another person should council have someone in mind.
Can I nominate Councillor Meagle?
Councillor Meagle, would you like that?
Yeah, I guess so.
You're happy to be the alternative member?
No, he's seconding.
I said I'd second.
The motion.
Okay, I haven't moved it yet.
No, he moved.
I'll move it first, then we'll have a quick debate. Moved by Councillor Whitechurch, seconded by Councillor Kennedy. And at the moment, we'll look at Councillor Meagle is smiling.
Certainly, Mr Mayor, happy to accept nomination. Would just like some information on Mr Southcliffe, please. He's unknown to me, and before we as a council put him up as a nomination, if we have some sort of information regarding his background, if that would be appropriate.
Councillors, would you like to nominate an alternative in the event that Councillor Meagle is not available?
Still got Councillor Bill Bott on the list as well. So we might want to note that on the.
Okay, so he's on it anyway, and Councillor Long.
We'll note that Councillor Bill Bott, Councillor Bill Bott, we'll note that Bill Bott, or William Bott OAM is on the, on our list.
And Councillor Longley is going to be on. Councillor Longley.
Yeah, clarity on that one. It's been suggested or identified that Councillor Bill Bott is the current member representing council or just independent on that board?
The community.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Is council representative?
That's my understanding, yes.
Yeah, so you don't actually have, the wording community representative is probably confusing, but when the panels were set up, council have to nominate 2 people to join the 3 state appointed reps. And of those 2, one's got to have qualifications in planning, law, some other activities if they align with development, and the other one brings a community focus, which most councils have a councillor as their second one, and they have, often when they were set up, they have the director of planning, but that's often becomes useless because the director's been involved with some of the pre-DA meetings, so you then have to go and appoint an independent anyway. So, but as it stands, Bill Bott is still one of our people on the panel. We didn't have anyone else with the professional qualifications, hence we're suggesting Jared Solsowskis, who's a consultant planner, contractor, has worked in the area before and has prepared a lot of applications, may have even been on a panel prior, because the panel themselves have experts as well as certainly very well regarded and has done LEP preparations, may have even done CORAs years ago, so he's done a lot of work in that space. He's regional.
So where's he from?
He's in Beechworth or Gapstead down that way, yeah. Works for one of the companies down there. So
he's not an employee.
No.
So can I just get clarity, Mr Mayor, in regard to my nomination of Councillor Meagle? That is something that is required, even though we've got Councillor Bill Bott there already as a council representative.
What it is you normally have a pool of community representatives anyway, so there's someone not available. It is a process. You've got to go through a bit of training and code of conduct. There's quite a lot of procedure they'll give you to be appointed, which the former councillors would have probably gone through. We had a couple on Urana, and Cora would have had, I think, Bob Parr and Bill probably from the days that he was on. With the merger, we then had to approach Mr Bott to see if he would be interested again to represent on the big one. The first one that came through as Federation was the Howlong proposal for Cleanaway, so we had to approach him on that basis, and he had to go back through that procedure again, but he was familiar with it. So it just becomes a real procedural issue if we haven't got a couple of other people on there, someone's got a conflict of interest or unavailable, we've got to go. So I'll be trying to see if we could remain Bill on there as an option, Mr Bott, and also have a councillor, which would be me.
Okay. Clear on that?
Yep. We might just note at that point too, the way you've got second member as an additional member. After where you've got second, as the additional. And then noting that Bill Bott is already, that was the last member. Cool.
Yeah. All right, councillors, I'll put it all in favour. Aye. Okay.
Okay, next report is the Floodplain Management Committee, or the appointment of the nominated people to that committee. We have a recommendation there, council, to follow on with the work that's done previously on the Urana flood study. We have a rather large number of people, which I won't read through, but up to you guys.
Someone like to move that recommendation? Moved by councillor Kennedy, seconded by councillor Thomas. Question, councillor Neal?
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. Just as mentioned by Mr Hall, to a lot of people, to be able to organise a committee that can be functional and strategic when you've got such a large number, is that absolutely necessary, or is there some way of cutting it down? Just a question, because it, in all my experience with committees, the larger the committee, the more difficult it is to actually be operational.
Through you, Mr Mayor, two of the members on the committee are actually staff members required as time to time for due process. The communities that are impacted also need to be represented, and they've got a representative each. We've also got council representatives. We have Office of Environment and Heritage need a representative there. So whilst it's a large looking committee, not necessarily all those numbers are there all the time, depending on what's on the agenda.
And councillor Neal, the committee at the same time has been active and has been working really well. Unfortunately, you have to relate to the SES as to their information.
Just a question, Mr Mayor.
No worries. If nothing further, I'll put it all in favour. Against, carried. I'm sorry, councillor Thomas, would you like to make comment?
So we received a sheet of paper. Mr Bishop.
Oh.
Yeah, so we added that to the thing, I could have talked to her, I'm sorry, but that was received in that time, but I didn't, I overlooked that putting out in the report, so I just wanted to make sure that councillors were aware that we're adding that additional one.
Report 8.5 is Corowa Aerodrome Advisory Committee. Since the merger, it's my understanding that council hasn't operated with an effective advisory committee from the aerodrome. We've still, in the meantime, had very good input from various users out there, and we just want to formalise now that committee, or formalise the charter, formalise the proposed committee structure, and get council to endorse the charter, nominate a councillor for that advisory committee.
With the recommendation.
Yeah, thank you, councillor Neal. Move, seconded by councillor Kennedy. Comment, councillor Neal.
Like to nominate councillor Longmire for the as a council representative, if he's willing to accept.
Yes.
Councillor Longmire. Councillor Ward, did you
I'll
want to?
second it.
Okay.
Oh, we've got the movement second.
Got to move it second. Councillor Watchett, did you want to comment on that?
No.
And just that, while we're on that topic, I did speak this morning briefly about a aviation session that's coming up early June in Wagga. I think it'd be extremely important. It talks about how underutilised all these airports are and how they can be functional, and there's a massive opportunity out there. So I just wanted to note that with council. So if there's nothing further, I'll put it all in favour. Against, carried.
Our next report is the Waste Management Committee. With council's merger, we've still got two pre-existing waste management strategies, which we need to redevelop into a new Federation Council strategy. A key part of doing that work is to actually have a representative committee from across the community and from within council staff and council itself. In previous discussion, it was clear that there was interest from at least 3 councillors to be a part of this committee, so we formed up the structure around that. We're seeking 2 residential or urban residents and 3 rural residents, and rural also captures all the small communities such as Seven Acres Rand and Borey Creek and Miranda, and 3 business representatives. To us, that feels like it covers the broad gamut of people that will have an interest. So from there, I'm just now seeking again endorsement of the Waste Management Committee Charter and the nomination of the 3 councillors to be formalised.
First, can I move it, please, councillors? Councillor Kennedy, moved by councillor Kennedy, seconded by councillor Whitechurch. Questions or comments or nominations, councillors? The Waste Committee, councillor Lindley.
Nominate councillor Longley.
Thank you. Accepted, councillor Longley. We're three, we're looking at three, that's.
We're looking at three.
That's correct. So, any further nominations, councillors, would like to be part of the committee?
If you're looking for someone, I go on.
Councillor Whitechurch and, Councillor Kennedy. Okay, sounds good. All right.
Thank you.
All happy, I'll put it all in favour. Against, carried.
Okay, councillors, 8.7 is our Corridor Skate Park Upgrade Committee and Progress Report. There's a little bit of information in that report around where we're at in the process. We're seeking to form a consultative group or advisory group to work with council to finalise or to work through the development of that space up there on the rail reserve. We've come to a structure that we think covers the majority of, or covers all of the users up there and all of the interest groups that we can see. And that's come about through discussion with council itself and with the youth council and also with some other stakeholders. So we've got 14 members we've been seeking. We have 5 youth representatives directly, being younger people. The youth councillors on their first meeting elected to have 3 of their council actually a part of this process as well. We've taken into its consideration that the high school is a user of the skate park. We understand that from time to time they actually take a sport class down there and utilise it. And they're also very keen to involve their kids in any work around designing of the project. We have also ensured that we've included the existing skate park extension committee as a community representative. Now, we've only asked for 1 member from there as they can bring the information in and take information out, etc. to that group. We've also sought 1 general community member in the belief that we'll probably end up with somebody from nearby that's interested in being a member. And as we had in Urana, we've also got a police representative in that committee. Again, it's around public safety, etc. in the design of that whole site, not necessarily the skate track itself. So we have some recommendations there, councillor, again seeking endorsement of our charter for the committee, and that we nominate 3 councillors to join the skate park upgrade committee.
Okay, can I move it, please? Councillor Long, are you happy to move that first?
Yeah, I'll move that.
And the second, Councillor Whitechurch. Councillor Long.
Yeah, the rationale, if I may, through you, Mr Mayor, and Mr Gordon, regarding 3 councillors, I mean, effectively, you know, why do we need 3 councillors on this committee? Because we're not talking 3 million, you know, 300 and something thousand, so I'm just not sure about that one.
Through you, Mr Mayor, at one of our workshops in the may have been last month's workshop, there was an opinion expressed by 3 councillors in the room that they'd like to be involved in this project.
Councillors, it has also been brought to my attention that the skate park would like 2 representatives from their committee on the committee. So some discussion that way too, please.
Yeah.
Councillor Law.
I commend our youth councillors that we have now. We have a youth council, but having 3 of the youth councillors on there, I dare to say that they've probably never been on the skate park. They're certainly not skate park users. They're not that type of youth. So 2 of those I think would be quite significant. I do believe that there should be 2 of the skate park committee, extension committee on that group. And as for the others, yes, I'm in agreement with all of those.
Do you want any more discussion on that first, councillor?
Through you, Mr Mayor, I'd just like to clarify the youth council's interest in this. The people that spoke to me when they nominated, it was relatively clear that they did have an interest. They had been past users at times, and that they were interested in behalf of siblings and classmates and others that do use the facility.
Councillor Neal.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Longmire, Councillor Law and Councillor Wales as the council representatives.
Thank you, Councillor Neal. Can I hear from Councillor Wales first, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
accepted.
Yep.
Does anyone have any further comment in relation to numbers of membership as, that was a request from the skate park?
No, I did note that, again, it was a rather large committee, you know, to try and get to a resolution or an idea probably might make it a little bit hard, and I don't know whether there's a quorum for that meeting or what the regular meetings are. I know there's some in the table here, but I think the main thing for starting the committee up is to get the project started and finished. It seems to have been going on for a hell of a long time, so I think that, and the councillors will be fully aware, Councillor Law's been involved with the skate park since its inception with her son. Let's get the project done and get the money allocated and make it good for everybody.
So councillors, going on what your comments, Councillor Law, do you want to amend that charter to include the two from skate park, or do you want to leave it at the one?
Yes, no, I'd certainly like to make it two from the skate park committee, absolutely. They've put in the work. Most of them don't have children there. They're there because of the love of young people, and I think it's very important that they have a good say.
Can the move, Councillor Wells, thank you, Councillor Law. Councillor Wells.
Yeah, I agree with Councillor Law, because they're like the main ingredients of what the actual skate park is, so I think they have to.
Would the mover and the seconder be happy with an amendment there? Well, alteration actually to that motion.
Is it Longmire and Wales, isn't it?
That's just a nomination.
That's right.
I don't know who moved it.
I don't think it's been moved.
Sean's been moved it. You think he
Yeah, Councillor Lodge, didn't you mention?
No.
So that you don't want. Councillors, you're happy with that change? We're very clear on that change, the two members of the skate park.
I've just got one more question.
Yes, Councillor.
Do we actually have a plan and a project, or are we still looking at a plan?
This is the development, the next stage of the development of the project, to sit down with the designer and to work through all that. So beyond whatever information we already have,
Yeah.
we'll sit down with the committee, with the designer, and then work forward from there, making sure that we integrate the park with the site and come up with the design.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we're clear on that, councillors. We've got two representatives. That's the only alteration to that, to the document in front of you. It's not necessarily the motion. So if there's no further questions, I'll put it. All in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Okay, now we'll move on to some correspondence. Correspondence being 12.1, Office of Local Government, acknowledgement from the Office of Local Government regarding Council's resolution to join a joint organisation. A copy of the letter is included with the agenda. So will we deal with that one now, or?
Just for information.
Yes.
Just for information, it's very imminent that there will be an announcement about our application for that joint organisation, so I expect that very soon.
And item number 12.2 is Local Government New South Wales notification and invitation to council to attend the 2018 Local Government New South Wales annual conference to be held in Albury. A copy of this letter is included in the agenda. Yeah, any questions or comments on that conference, councillors? I'm not sure. We put out a bit of a format of, you know, who went in the past. Albury does open up an opportunity for a larger field if someone will get closer. Anyway, would someone like to move that correspondence? It's moved by Councillor Law, seconded by Councillor Longley. All in favour? Carried. There be no confidential items. So now I declare the meeting closed. Thank you, councillors.
Thank you.